May 15th, 2026. The Supreme Court of India. Chief Justice Suryakant is presiding over a routine hearing. But then, something completely unexpected happens. Something that no judge in the history of this country had ever said publicly from that chair. He calls unemployed young people parasites. He says, and I quote, "There are already parasites in society." Then, he goes further. He calls them cockroaches. His exact words: "They are youngsters, like cockroaches. They don't get any employment. They have no place in professions. So some of them become media, some become social media, some become RTI activists, some become another kind of activist. And they start attacking India." Let that sink in. The highest court in the land, the Chief Justice of India, comparing unemployed youth to cockroaches. This is the same country where a few weeks ago the NEET exam paper was leaked, where millions of young people are sitting at home without jobs, where wages are not decent, where inflation is eating families alive, where the system consistently fails those who need it most. And the Supreme Court's response to all of this is to call them cockroaches. The entire nation was stunned. Headlines across every channel: shock, outrage, and disbelief. The very next day, May 16th, CJI Suryakant issued a clarification. He said his words had been misquoted. He said he wasn't talking about the youth of India. He was talking about people with fake degrees who had infiltrated law, media, and social media. He called the youth the pillars of a developed India. But by then, the damage was done, and something incredible had already begun. On the same day as the clarification, May 16th, a 30-year-old Indian student studying at Boston University in America named Abhijit Deepke sent out a single tweet. 4 words: "What if all cockroaches come together?" And on that same day, he created a social media page and a simple website. He called it the Cockroach Janta Party, CJP. Now, this was clearly a reference to BJP, the Bharatiya Janta Party, the ruling party of India. But CJP was not a real political party. It wasn't registered anywhere, it had no election symbol, no candidates. It was just a website, a social media page, and a joke. In the history of Indian internet, such things have happened before. Remember the Beef Janta Party? The Bharatiya Jumla Party? These trends come and go. They last 2 days, get some laughs, then disappear. So Abhijit made the CJP as a meme, as an internet joke. Even the membership form was a joke. There were only 3 questions. 1, are you lazy? 2, do you spend hours online? 3, do you identify yourself as a cockroach, as CJI said? If the answer to all 3 was yes, it didn't matter what religion you follow, what caste you belong to, or what gender you are. You were welcome inside the Cockroach Janta Party. Hilarious, right? Just a funny online stunt. Nothing serious. Or so everyone thought. Within 48 hours, just 2 days, the CJP Twitter account had crossed 40,000 followers. Within 4 days, the Instagram account had crossed 8 million followers. 8 million in 4 days. To put that into perspective, that's more followers than BJP's official Instagram account. The biggest political party in the world by membership had been overtaken by a joke cockroach party in less than a week. The founder himself couldn't believe it. He went on camera and said, "You must be seeing this in the morning. Our followers are now more than BJP." And it didn't stop. As the days passed, the numbers kept climbing. Today, the Cockroach Janta Party has crossed 22 million followers on Instagram alone. 22 million! Political analysts, social media researchers, digital historians, everyone agrees on one thing. This is possibly the fastest growing social media account in human history. But here's the real question. The question that matters. If this was just a joke, why did millions of people take it so seriously? And more importantly, why did the most powerful government in India begin to panic?
I want you to understand something important here, because this is the heart of the entire story. The Cockroach Janta Party became massive not because it was funny. It became massive because it was true. Think about who India's young people are today. A 22-year-old who studied for 3 years to crack a government exam, only to find out the paper was leaked. A 25-year-old engineering graduate sending out 300 job applications with zero response. A 28-year-old working a 14-hour shift at a delivery app for wages that don't cover rent. A first-generation college student who believed that education would save them and found out that the system was rigged against them before they even began. These young people have been told over and over that they are not good enough, that they should work harder, that their failure is their own fault. And then, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court calls them cockroaches. And something snapped. When Abhijit said, "What if all cockroaches come together?" he wasn't making a political speech. He was doing something far more powerful. He was giving millions of frustrated, invisible, exhausted young people an identity, a symbol, a community. Yes, I am a cockroach, and I am proud. Every meme, every song, every reel, every video about the CJP, all of it channeled this collective frustration. People dressed up in cockroach costumes. They made songs. They made artwork. They made parody videos. The creativity was extraordinary. But underneath all the humor, there was genuine rage and genuine pain. And this is what the government completely failed to understand, or perhaps understood all too well.
A few days after the page went viral, the CJP released a formal manifesto on its website. And this is where everything changed. The manifesto was not a joke. It contained 5 specific demands, each one targeting a real structural failure in Indian democracy. Demand 1. After any Chief Justice of India retires, they should not be rewarded with a seat in Parliament or any government position. This is a direct attack on the perception of judicial independence, the idea that judges give favorable rulings to the government in exchange for post-retirement benefits. Demand 2. If any legitimate vote is deleted or manipulated in the country, the Chief Election Commissioner should be arrested under UAPA. This targets the growing belief that India's election machinery is no longer neutral. Demand 3. Women must be given 50% reservation in Parliament and in the Cabinet. Not 33%. Not someday. 50% now. Demand 4. Media licenses of Ambani and Adani, 2 of the most powerful industrialists in India, both widely seen as close to the ruling government, should be cancelled. This targets the complete takeover of Indian media by corporate interests aligned with the BJP.
Demand 5. Any member of parliament who switches parties should be banned from contesting elections for 20 years. This targets horse trading, the open buying and selling of elected representatives that has destroyed governments across India. Now, look at these 5 demands carefully. Each one points at a real disease in the system: the compromised judiciary, the compromised election commission, the captured media, the selling of democracy from within. This wasn't a joke anymore. This was a serious political indictment delivered through the language of internet culture. And when a petition was launched demanding the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan over the NEET paper leak, the video announcing it got over 10 million views in a single hour. 10 million views. 1 hour. You've heard the old story about a child who points out that the emperor has no clothes? That's what CJP had become. A space where someone was finally saying out loud, the king is naked. The system is broken. And we all know it.
And that's when Modi's government started to sweat. Now, I want you to think about this. The ruling party of the world's most populous democracy, a government that has won multiple landslide elections, a prime minister who projects an image of absolute strength and invincibility. They were scared of a cockroach meme page. On May 21st, just 5 days after CJP was created, the Twitter account of the Cockroach Janta party was blocked in India. The official reason given? Input from the Intelligence Bureau. National security threat. Let me say that again. A social media page where people were making memes, wearing cockroach antenna, posting funny songs, was classified as a threat to national security. While actual paper leaks continue with no accountability, a cockroach meme page is a security threat. While actual exam fraud destroys millions of futures, a cockroach meme page is a security threat. While actual election manipulation is openly alleged, a cockroach meme page is a security threat. This tells you everything you need to know about how this government thinks.
After the Twitter ban, CJP created a backup account called Cockroaches Back. Then, attempts were made to hack their Instagram page, repeated unauthorized login attempts, clearly orchestrated, until on May 23rd, Abhijit publicly announced that they had lost access to all CJP platforms. Then, the website was taken down. By this point, 1 million people had registered as CJP members, and over 600,000 people had signed the petition demanding the resignation of the education minister.
But the censorship was only the beginning. Abhijit's personal WhatsApp number was leaked, and the death threats started pouring in. One message was direct. It said, "You'll be paid. Close this account or join the BJP. Or else, you'll be killed in America." Read that again. A sitting government supporters were threatening to kill a student in America because he created a meme page in India. This wasn't just one message. There were multiple threats. Abhijit did what any responsible person would do. He publicly posted these threats, revealed the phone numbers of those threatening him, and demanded police action. The police did nothing. Then, the threats escalated. Abhijit's family in Maharashtra, who had nothing to do with CJP, were targeted. People physically showed up at their homes. They were sent threatening videos and messages on WhatsApp. One message said, "We know where your parents live. You still have time. Come to VJ's side. It will be more beneficial for you." Think about that for a moment. A 30-year-old student studying in Boston creates a meme page, and in response, people show up at his parents' house in Maharashtra? This is not a political fight. This is intimidation. This is terror. This is what happens when a government loses its fear of accountability and starts fearing its own people instead. When intimidation didn't silence Abhijit, they moved to defamation. Now, here's what the BJP camp revealed. Abhijit Deepke had previously worked with the Aam Aadmi Party from 2020 to 2023. He has never hidden this. His old tweets are still up. His personal Instagram account, which he tagged openly in the CJP bio, shows this clearly. If you scroll down for 5 seconds, you can see it all. Abhijit himself said openly in an interview, "I worked there from 2020 to 2023. I was inspired by their health and education model. After that, I applied to universities, got into Boston University, and I've been here since." This is not a secret. This is not a scandal. But the way BJP's IT cell presented it, you'd think they had uncovered a CIA operation. BJP MP Nishikant Dubey claimed that Deepke's connection to AAP proved a link to foreign powers. Old photos of Abhijit with Manish Sisodia were shared as if this was explosive evidence of a conspiracy. But think about this logically for 1 second. If AAP wanted to run a secret covert operation against the government, would they choose someone who has tagged his own personal account on the main page? Would they choose someone whose entire political history is publicly visible? If you're running a secret operation, you don't pick the most traceable face available. And second, what is the argument exactly? That a person can never move on from a previous political association? Raghav Chadha was in AAP. Suvendu Adhikari was in TMC. Hemanta Biswa Sarma was in Congress. Does that mean every party they currently belong to is secretly controlled by their old parties? This argument makes no logical sense. When that line of attack failed, they escalated to deep state conspiracy theories. Accounts connected to the BJP IT cell claimed that Abhijit Deepke was listed in Pune police records as an ISI paid asset, a paid agent of Pakistan's intelligence agency. They floated theories that a coordinated global operation through US Gen Z protests was being used to politically destabilize democratic nations, and that CJP was part of this operation. They circulated images claiming that 49% of CJP's followers came from Pakistan. Now, I want you to remember something. During the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, when channels like mine were going viral, the exact same playbook was used. They said 60% of my YouTube followers came from Pakistan and Bangladesh. It was a complete lie. It is a complete lie in the case of CJP as well. Here's a basic fact. No one can see where another account's followers come from. Not you, not me, not BJP. There is no public tool that shows this data. These images are fabricated. They are simply made up, printed on a screen and shared, because they know that a screenshot, shared fast enough, will be believed. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju was himself caught spreading this lie. Abhijit pushed back, sharing actual data showing that over 94% of CJP's followers came from India. Rijiju had no response. Then came the bot narrative. They claimed CJP's follower count was mostly bots, fake accounts. Again, no real evidence. But here's the interesting part. A third-party analytics site analyzed CJP's followers and found about 8% bots. The same site found that over 19% of Narendra Modi's own.
Now I want to step back and look at the bigger picture. Because the Cockroach Janta Party is not just a story about one meme page, one student, or one government overreaction. It's a story about the state of democracy in India in 2026. The truth is, the democratic system in India is so controlled and so compromised that it has become almost impossible for any genuine opposition, any authentic voice to survive. Real political parties are not allowed to function. Their MPs and MLAs are threatened with arrest. The ED, the CBI, agencies that should be independent are used as weapons. Defamation campaigns run 24 hours a day. Parties are broken apart from within. Their symbols are taken away by compliant commissions. Shiv Sena, NCP, Aam Aadmi Party, TMC, BJD, SP, CPIM. Every major opposition party in this country has faced existential pressure from the central government in recent years. The former Chief Minister of Kerala from CPIM had his residence raided by the ED. The CPIM, a party that has governed Kerala with strong democratic mandates. When you have they become cockroaches. And that's exactly what happened. CJP wasn't a threat because it was powerful. CJP was a threat because it was honest. In a media landscape completely captured by corporate interests aligned with the government, a simple Instagram page was saying what millions of people felt but had no platform to say. And that is intolerable to an authoritarian government. Because the one thing authoritarians fear most is not armed revolution. It's not organized political opposition. It's laughter. It's the moment when millions of people collectively realize this emperor has no clothes. Think about how desperate you have to be to physically go to a BJP event, put live cockroaches in a box, and then dramatically smash the box on camera to kill the cockroaches. This is the ruling party of the world's most populous democracy. This is how they responded to a meme page. What does that tell you about their confidence, about their actual strength? History teaches us this over and over. The louder the tyrant, the more afraid they are. The more they crack down on jokes, on memes, on students in Boston, the more they reveal that they know, deep down, that the people are not with them anymore.
And let me be honest with you. This is not just about CJP. This is happening at every level, to everyone who speaks up. Recently, I discovered that 2 of my own reels on Instagram had been blocked in India. One of them had over 50 million views. What did I say in that reel? I simply exposed a politician's hypocrisy. Nothing extreme, no abuse, just facts. And then I found out every creator who made similar reels on that same topic had their content restricted in India. Some of their accounts were suspended entirely. This is the toolkit they use. It is systematic, it is organized, and it is used against everyone. From a 30-year-old Boston student running a cockroach meme page, to journalists with millions of followers, to a 12th standard student who notices
Think about it. A government that has won landslide elections. A party with the most members of any political organization in the world. A leader who is constantly projected as a global strongman. And they are terrified of a cockroach meme page. Because deep down, beneath all the optics, all the PR, all the manufactured consent,
They know. They know that the LPG crisis is real. They know that unemployment is real. They know that the rupee is falling. They know that young people are leaving the country by the millions. They know that the promises made in 2014, in 2019, in 2024 were never kept. And they know that more and more people are starting to figure it out. History is very consistent on one thing. The more desperately a powerful person tries to silence the truth, the louder the truth eventually becomes.
As of today, the Cockroach Janta Party has regained access to its website and Instagram account, though many individual posts are still being restricted and shadow banned across platforms. The Twitter account remains blocked in India. Abhijit has filed a legal challenge in court. 1 million people have formally registered as CJP members. Over 600,000 have signed the petition demanding accountability on the NEET paper leak. 22 million people follow the account. And the question everyone is asking is, what happens next? What does this movement become? Honestly, that depends entirely on the people in it. 22 million followers is not a small number. If even a fraction of those people start acting in coordinated ways, changing profile pictures, sharing the same posts, creating their own content on the same themes, the censorship becomes impossible to enforce. You cannot ban 22 million accounts. A centralized movement can be beheaded, but a decentralized one, a movement where every individual is their own node, their own broadcaster, their own voice, that is something no government, however powerful, has ever successfully silenced.
The Cockroach Janta Party began as a joke, but the best jokes, the ones that really sting, are the ones that are also completely true. And the truth is this: millions of young Indians were called cockroaches by the system. And instead of being ashamed, they owned it. They built a community around it. They laughed, they organized, they demanded accountability. They refused to disappear. That is not weakness. That is what survival looks like. That is what resistance looks like. And if you're watching this, wherever you are, remember, cockroaches are famously impossible to kill. If this video gave you something to think about, share it. Not for my numbers, but because this story deserves to be heard. Subscribe if you want to follow these stories, and I'll see you in the next one.